Oh yeah, I forgot I got this new gear. Slap bitches with bitches. Damn, nobody bought that shit? Oh, now? Ah, yes, I do remember this quest.
It's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Oh, did I fail it?
I can't cast that yet.
We need to go redo that.
I need a target. It's still recharging.
Bot Rix has correctly joined the channel.
Gee, thanks, Bot Rix. Small flame sack? These guys drop those? Oh, hell yeah.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
Of course he gets it off. Fucking retarded.
It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
This is a timed quest, so try to hurry. Yeah, I have to redo it.
We must ensure the survival of this camp at all costs, adventurer. Our enemies must not be given any quarter, for they would surely give us none were we to need it. The plan is for various leaders of the gnolls, alphas as they call themselves, to be taken down within rapid succession. If we're able to execute this sort of swift and precise devastation against them, it would cause chaos
Woodpaw
in their
alphas.
ranks.
There should be
Perhaps it
one
would
Woodpaw
also
alpha
drive
in
a
each of these
message
small
through their thick,
camps.
flea-bitten
This is a
heads that
time
we
quest.
can and will destroy them. I want you to be the messenger of my will. Eliminate 5 of their alphas within 1 hour for this to work, adventurer, or we'll remain at this impasse. It's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. I can't attack that. It's not ready yet.
No way.
It's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
isn't ready yet. It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. It's still recharging. recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I'm out of range. That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not enough mana.
I have just the thing for you.
well.
You've done as I have asked, and for that I salute you. Take this small reward as compensation for your efforts, adventurer. With their numbers thinned and their leaders slain, the gnolls will think twice about storming the camp. This doesn't conclude the issue at hand, however. There must be some reason why the gnolls have been whipped into such a frenzied state. Before they have a chance to regroup, though, I want to find out what is causing it.
Wonderful adventurer. These will do nicely. There are enough here to make a cloak for Corin, and possibly even more. Thank you. I hope the trip wasn't too dangerous. The area of Feralis is not known for being forgiving, but you've obviously done well enough. Thank you again, adventurer.
Bro, why is my computer running so fucking hot, man? I don't understand at all. Just
I can't equip that. It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. It's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. It's still recharging. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
bro.
Still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
Bro, what in the fuck?
Charging. I can't cast that yet. It's too far away.
No way. Is this a bot? Shut up, bro.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
No fucking shot, bro.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Oh, I'm dead.
Intimidation. Pain shot.
That spell isn't ready yet. I need to get this.
Killing spree.
I fought this guy before?
recharging. I can't cast that yet.
Where'd the little bitch go, man?
It's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. It's too far away. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
That's so fucking annoying.
I don't know. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. That's still recharging.
Little pussy bitch ass bitch.
What brings...
Ah, this is exactly what we needed. While I am not so skilled at ciphering what most of the scrawling on this map
Plus
is, I've seen enough battle plans in my day to
potions.
understand what is happening with the Gnolls. It looks like they are currently
I get
fighting
a-
a two-front war.
Oh my.
One is with us, but it seems that their
Oh.
main energy has been against a foe to their south. There's more at hand here than meets the eye. Perhaps it is time to figure out who this other foe they face really is. We shall meet again. Walk with the earth,
Ooh-wee. Let's go.
These are good horns, adventurer. Well done. I'll take these from you, and be sure to tell Belgrim as soon as we return to Orgrimmar. You've helped me twice now, and for that, you have my mark. Perhaps in the future I can help
Toad
you.
and horn.
Good luck to you.
looking for something special?
Ah, good old stinger. Or sting lasher's glands. I remember that.
Can you imagine when this race is won? Turn our golden faces into the sun. Praising our leaders, we're getting in tune. The music's played by the madman. Forever young, I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Forever, forever, forever young. I want to be forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Forever young. Some are like water, some are like the heat. Some are. Can you imagine when this race is won? Turn our golden faces into the sun. Raising forever.
78 years old. WWE co-founder and executive chairman. Holy shit. 79 years. Almost 80 years old?
Like water, some are like the heat.
Dude, what happened to him?
Ready for an ultra?
Racy for an ultra?
Don't forget, there's ultras on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, WWE Chairman, Mr. McMahon.
Mr. McMahon couldn't wait to get out here. Hanging out at ringside as we went on the air, and I can only imagine what this is about.
Big grin. Allow me to introduce you to my friend. Allow me to introduce you to the man who at the King of the Ring made Hulk Hogan submit to the ankle lock. Allow me to introduce you to the only Olympic gold medalist in World Wrestling Entertainment history. He is Kurt Angle!
We do the new art space circle. It's square.
Oh.
Ooh. Thanks for sharing this Red Baron with us, Willow.
It was a stirring victory. An incredible match this past Sunday at King of the Ring on pay-per-view. Kurt Angle getting Hollywood Hulk Hogan to tap out to the ankle lock and the embrace by Mr. McMahon. And look at how happy Mr. McMahon is about Kurt Angle making Hogan's tap at the King of the Ring. And it's pretty obvious that Mr. McMahon cannot stand Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I might as well be the poster boy for ruthless aggression. Oh, it's true. It's true. At King of the Ring, I made the immortal Hulk Hogan tap out. Last week on SmackDown, I beat The Undertaker 1, 2, 3 right in the middle of this ring. And yet, no matter how much I accomplish, I still have to deal with the fact that you people are unappreciative of my greatness. People, quite frankly, I'm not the one that sucks. You do. All you do is mock me, make fun of me, try to break my concentration. Well, it's not gonna work anymore. Oh, I'm sure you people find it real funny that I'm bald, right? Well, try this on for size.
Oh! Let it shine, Kurt! Let it shine!
You got something to say now? You find it funny now? Was it funny when I made Hulk Hogan submit? Was it funny when I proved my superiority over The Undertaker and whooped his? Oh, I find it all funny, hysterical, a barrel of freaking monkey.
The monkey that likes killing our family is back.
Here comes trouble.
Well, none of you, not even all of you can ruin my mood. I'm on a roll. As a matter of fact, tonight, I'm in the mood to show someone here, right here tonight, what ruthless aggression is all about.
Angle's the poster boy. He said it. Ruthless aggression.
In fact, I am issuing a challenge to anyone in that locker room that I've never wrestled before to come down here and face Kurt Angle. Come on, guys, there's got to be somebody back there that wants to seize the moment.
It's a great opportunity.
Now listen up. There are a lot of young guys back there, future superstars, that want to climb that ladder to success. Well, now's your chance to become a sensation just like me. Come on, somebody back there gotta wanna face Kurt Angle.
Someone's got to step up to the plate here. Angle's given an opportunity.
Listen, don't be scared. I will take it easy on you. But there's got to be somebody back there that 50 years from now
You can win big on Hard Rock Bet with a little bet
yeah.
or a Post Malone size bet.
Oh, yeah. Yes!
Big payouts for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Kurt doesn't look impressed.
Who in the hell are you?
I'm John Cena.
John Cena, huh? Will you tell me, what is the one quality that you possess that makes you think that you can walk out here and come into the ring and face the very best in the business?
Ruthless aggression.
Is Cena Kid knocking Angle down and hammering away with the right hand to the Olympic champion? Well, I guess Mr. McMahon's... Whoa! Oh, man! Kurt Angle's been taken off guard, and this kid is going right after Kurt Angle. I guess Mr. McMahon speaks out raw, inspired from John Cena. Mr. McMahon told these young superstars to seize the opportunity, and this is what Cena is trying to do tonight against Angle. Cena's bringing it to Kurt. Kurt, look at it! Body drop by Cena to Kurt Angle in a clothesline. And another one. Ruthless aggression from Cena to Angle early on. Looks like Cena's got that aggressive part down pat. This Cena is a rookie. He's a prospect here at Pro Wrestling Entertainment. Cover, hook of the leg, does he have it? And Kurt Angle kicks out. Check out the first clothesline, Taz. Wow, just cleaning Angle's block. Cena's one of the kids in the World Wrestling Entertainment who basically, Taz, hopes to season out. Oh, look at Kurt Angle. There's a cat for the Angle block. That's the end of it. And Cena counter. I guess Cena had Angle out. Scouted on a German. And a German suplex from Kurt Angle to John Cena.
That smells pretty good.
This guy looks good. I mean, Cena, in my view, it seems like he had Angle scouted. We don't know a lot about John, but we've just seen a lot of him. We've heard a little bit about Cena, and one of the young talents working their way through the system, and Kurt Angle now putting on a clinic for the rookie Cena. This might be the end coming up right now. I mean, this guy Cena, John Cena, caught Angle off guard, and now Kurt Angle's going to pick him apart. Do you have to question Cena's logic, Taz? I mean, you only had one chance to make your first impression. Oh, and is Kurt Angle the person you want to make that impression against? Angle's taking it to him right now. Well, John Cena has nothing to lose, in my opinion. I mean, he comes out and gets an opportunity for Kurt Angle. Look at this. Look at this counter. Oh, look at the counter. He's got Angle. He's got it. No, and a kick out. This kid has got the guts. He certainly has a will to win, as he's demonstrated here.
here. Miss McMahon said it from day one. Opportunity's always there in the WWE. And John Cena, God bless him, he's stepping to the plate. But it might be a little too much dealing with Kurt Angle.
And Kurt Angle begins the trash talking with Cena. Perhaps Angle took Cena a bit roughly in the early
5 misses in a row?
Maybe punishment time for the youngster.
John Cena looks like he's in great condition. Oh, wow. Listen, that's...
Kurt Angle, the man who made Hollywood Hulk Hogan tap to the ankle lock. Tap out for the first time in Hogan's career at King of the Ring Sunday. Off the suplex, the hook of the leg on Cena. And Cena got the shoulder up.
John Cena's tough. He looks tough early on right here.
And Kurt Angle, I thought I saw a weird look in his eyes. Looked to be a bit perplexed. I don't think I've ever seen that from Angle.
Well, look at this front face lock right here by Kurt Angle. Wearing down John Cena. You got to figure Cena's nervous out here, which is, takes your endurance away from you. This front headlock is cutting the blood off the Cena's brain. And when Angle locks a front headlock, you can choke out with it.
It's a punishing move, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. A front face lock is a fundamental move, but yet extremely dangerous, especially from a guy like Kurt Angle.
Cena trying to make it to his feet, trying to get some sort of leverage on Kurt Angle.
Got an over-under. Angle's got an under.
Oh, look out! Angle's in trouble! Oh, and what a desperation counter by John Cena. And you can feel the crowd starting to get with the kid a little bit, Taz.
Yeah, but
this crowd may be starting to believe that Cena has a real chance in this matchup.
But Cena's got to believe it. John Cena's got to be positive about himself and he can take out Kurt Angle. And Cena got a lot taken out of him by that front face lock by Kurt.
I think Cena does believe he can beat Angle. That's why he's out here. That's why he's battling it. He's battling it out against a world-class athlete.
I agree with you. He is. I just think he might be a little overmatched. Well, let's face it.
Oh, big knockdown by Cena to Kurt Angle.
This guy looks great, though. You got to face it.
And Kurt Angle is reeling. Oh, wow! The cover! He's got him! He's got him! Oh, Angle just got the shoulder off.
Big up to John Cena. This guy looks awesome.
And Kurt Angle with a rake of the eyes. That is all desperation for Angle.
Angle slam, look at this.
Went for the Angle slam. Cena counter. Kick to the midsection. And Kurt Angle.
Cover him, cover him.
He's got him this time.
Got him, kid.
Outside leg hooked and Angle got the shoulder up again. Again a cover. Again the outside leg hooked and again a kicked out.
Ruthless aggression. There it is.
The cover again and Angle kicks out a third time.
Ruthless aggression, tenacity by John Cena. That's wins matches.
Cena has countered the ankle lock. He has countered the Angle slam. Into the corner. Oh! Kurt Angle shoulder first into the steel post. Oh, look, he could have him here. Does he have no Angle kicked out? Once again.
Small package.
The small package. He's got him. And Angle again kicks out. John Cena giving Kurt Angle all he can handle. And then some.
What a hell of a match this is.
Reversal. Angle whipped across the ring. Slam by Cena.
Hook his leg.
Again a cover. He's got him this time at Angle. Angle just got the shoulder up. Comes again. He's got him. Angle again got the shoulder up. What does Cena have to do to keep Angle down?
He's got to pin him. You think, look at that snap down. Double chicken with Linus. Kurt's floating over.
Shoulders are pinned and Kurt Angle has pinned John Cena.
Here is your winner, Kurt Angle. Angle got the dupe, but you think Angle might have regretted pulling somebody out here and that somebody being John Cena? Great outing by Cena.
Kurt Angle doesn't necessarily look like a winner. I'll tell you, Cena gave Angle all he could handle and then some.
In my opinion, I don't think Kurt Angle would be offended if he never seen Cena again. Got respect.
That's all about class. It's all about sportsmanship. Look at Kurt Angle.
Angle just blew him off. Angle don't care.
Come on, Angle. Give the kid some props.
He gave the kid an opportunity. What more do you want Kurt to do?
A little bit of props. The kid battled his heart out.
John Cena's lucky his ankle didn't get snapped off. John Cena had a great outing. Look at him. Cocky. I like it.
We haven't heard the last of John Cena.
Think?
But
The
for
way
Kurt
you
Angle,
you are always
as well.
He's a world-class athlete with absolutely no class.
Kurt Angle's an international superstar, Cole, but you're right. He's a little low in the class department. I think Kurt's wondering why this guy's smiling.
Angle cannot believe it. You gotta love the confidence, though, in this kid. I think Angle wants some more.
Angle's gonna give Cena some more, and Cena ain't backing down. It's go time again, round
Kurt Angle and John Cena gonna go at it again here tonight. I'd pay to see it again. Cena's ready. Kurt Angle wants nothing to do with John Cena. What a great accounting for this kid here tonight.
I like John Cena. He looked good out here, but Kurt Angle's the man in my view.
Ruthless aggression.
Look, from the very beginning, football's been a conspiracy to make us hungry. Now let me tell you where it all started.
And we'll call this a pigskin. Make people crave bacon.
And everybody loves bacon.
I love bacon.
Ever ask yourself how Buffalo got a team?
Can you get just as jacked spending $10 a day versus $10,000 a day? It's a good question. Back when I was competing in bodybuilding, I had to build my physique on a strict budget. But plenty of pro athletes and celebrities swear that their expensive, luxurious routines are the key to their physiques.
LeBron spent $1 million on his body a year.
$1 million on his body?
So in this video, I'm running a 2-day experiment. On Monday, I'll have just $10 for the entire day to cover all my meals and training costs. On that day, I'll be putting my best low-cost fitness tips to use. Then on Tuesday, I'll have $10,000 to spend on the most luxurious fitness protocols money can buy. On that day, I'll be hiring my own Michelin-trained celebrity chef, a world-class hypertrophy coach, and trying some experimental recovery techniques. And by the end of the video, you'll know exactly what's worth spending your money on and what isn't. Okay, so for my $10 budget day, I'm having 4 meals, and I want each meal to cost around $2. For my breakfast, I'm doing a low-cost, anabolic peanut butter protein smoothie. This whole thing only cost me $1.50, and it has some really solid macros with 48 grams of protein. The reason it's so cheap is that milk and whey protein are some of the cheapest sources of high-quality protein. In prep for this day, I went to Walmart and made a list of high-protein foods ranked from cheapest to most expensive. So the cheapest source of protein I could find is actually lentils. You can get 40 grams of protein from lentils for just 66 cents. The second cheapest source of protein is milk. You can get 40 grams of protein from milk for just 81 cents. The third cheapest source of protein is chicken breast, offering 40 grams of protein for $1.07. Protein powder comes in at the number 6 spot, but keep in mind that
there's no fucking way this is like... What? Dude, where is he going?
Some of the sources on my list are a little too high in calories, so if you're cutting, I'd stick to the lower calorie sources highlighted in green. I made another list for carbs, and the top 3 cheapest foods were white rice, brown rice, and oats, and bananas are the cheapest fruit. For healthy fats, the 2 cheapest options are sunflower seeds and peanut butter. Most nuts are pretty affordable too. So now it should make sense why I picked milk, peanut butter, whey protein, a banana, and some oats for our low-cost anabolic peanut butter protein smoothie. And since this cost $1.50, that leaves us with $8.50 left for the rest of the day. And remember, that needs to cover 3 more meals, any gym costs, and supplements. Speaking of which, I also took some basic supplements with my breakfast. 5 grams of creatine only cost me 15 cents, and this multivitamin only cost me 5 cents. Creatine is awesome because it's one of the most effective supplements, and it's also one of the cheapest supplements. If you buy creatine in bulk, you can get it super cheap. This only costs 15 cents. You probably don't need a multivitamin as long as you eat a generally healthy diet, but I do still take one just to make sure I'm covered. Okay, meal 2 is my pre-workout meal, and for this meal, I'm doing a high-protein chicken wrap. It's easy to prep the chicken in bulk. The wrap should only take you a couple minutes to put together. You can also prep it the night before and take it to work with you. Once again, I went for some of the cheapest foods on my lists. Chicken breast and brown rice with some spinach, cheese, salsa, sour cream, and of course, 1 large whole wheat tortilla. This whole wrap cost me $2.01, and that leaves us with $6.29 left for the rest of the day. About 30 minutes before training, I'll have some kind of pre-workout caffeine. You can get a tub of a standard pre-workout supplement for about $30, which comes out to 50 cents per scoop. Or you can have a cup of coffee for about 25 cents per serving, so about half the price. A new study found that caffeine on its own was just as effective as a multi-ingredient pre-workout supplement. That means if you're on a budget, simple coffee might be your best option. Caffeine tablets are also super cheap. Each pill only costs about 5 cents. For my workout today, I'll just have this cup of coffee. For training on a budget, there are gyms in the US and Canada that only cost $10 per month or 33 cents per day. In the US, you have Planet Fitness, Crunch Fitness, and 24-Hour Fitness. In Canada, you have Fit for Less and Planet Fitness. You could also work out effectively from home. A set of workout bands costs $40 and a pull-up bar costs $30. So for your first year of lifting, that would mean a workout from home would cost you about 19 cents a day. I personally don't like bands quite as much as free weights or machines, but they are cheaper and can still get the job done, especially if you're a beginner. I'd personally rather train at a gym with more options though, so I'm gonna hit my leg day at a Fit for Less.
If you are trying to get a quick workout in, you don't have to do a ton of sets. You can get in and out in 45 minutes and get a huge hypertrophy stimulus. Pick 1 or 2 exercises per muscle, do 1 or 2 sets for each of those exercises, push those sets all the way to failure, and you can get an amazing workout in a short period of time if you do that.
I had a great leg workout, and I definitely don't think you need a super expensive gym membership to make amazing gains. This workout only cost me 33 cents, which means I have $5.71 left for the rest of the day. Let's go back home and get in a post-workout meal. So for my post-workout meal, I'm doing a simple turkey and veggie stir-fry, and for your post-workout nutrition, you're really not in any rush, so it's totally fine if you come home and have a solid whole food meal about an hour after training. This whole meal cost me $2.83. This is my most expensive meal of the day, but also probably the most nutritious. For this meal, I just fried up some lean ground turkey and mixed frozen vegetables with soy sauce, brown rice, and an egg. You may have noticed that on my carbs list, veggies all look very expensive. But that's mainly because you need to eat so much of them to get a full serving of carbs in. The hack for knocking the price down is to buy them canned or frozen. Frozen veggies are sometimes even more nutritious than fresh veggies, especially if the fresh veggies have been sitting on the shelf or sitting in transport for a while. For the cost, this is an amazing, nutrient-dense post-workout meal with 46 grams of protein and some solid macros. By the way, I'm tracking all my meals for the day in MacroFactor. MacroFactor costs $5.99 a month if you go for the annual membership. That comes out to about 20 cents per day. I'm a part owner of MacroFactor, so I may be a bit biased, but I really do think it's the best nutrition app on the market. A nutrition coach can cost you $200 or $300 per month. MacroFactor costs a tiny fraction of that, and it does actually coach you. The app will adjust your calories up or down over time as your metabolism adapts, just like a coach would. It also has the fastest food logger on the planet, and we've done experiments to test this. We'll also never serve you ads or sell your data, and it's still cheaper than MyFitnessPal Premium. We have amazing reviews all over the internet and a motivated community of users. So I'll put a link to a free trial in the description box down below if you'd like to try it out for yourself. Just use code Jeff when you download, and you'll get 2 weeks for free. So again, my post-workout meal cost me $2.83, which means I only have $2.68 left for the rest of the evening. All right, it's 8 p.m. and this is my last meal before bed. High-protein peanut butter dip with apple slices for dinner. I made the dip with Greek yogurt, peanut butter, and honey, and then on the side, I've got the apple slices with a pinch of cinnamon, and then a side of sunflower seeds. These are a great, healthy snack before bed. Remember, they are the very cheapest source of good fats, tied with peanut butter. This whole meal cost me $1.60, meaning that I managed to fit this entire day of fitness in, under budget, at just $8.92. Tomorrow, I'm gonna 1,000x my budget, and by the end of the day, we'll see if I think having $10,000 would help me get more jacked, or if $10 is just as good. See you in the morning. All right, I'm starting my $10,000 luxury day with something really freaky. This is a sensory deprivation float tank. This is my first time ever trying one. The way it works is the water has a super high concentration of salt, so your body feels completely weightless. The water is also set to skin temperature, and the pod is dark and soundproof. The sensory deprivation is supposed to help your muscles and your brain completely relax. And although it was really trippy at first, after about 15 minutes, I could feel my body completely relax. And from my N=1 experience, I can totally see how it would help me with recovery. It also wasn't as expensive as I expected, so after the float, I've still got $9,926 left over. With that high of a budget, I decided to hire my own personal chef. But again, not just any chef. I got a Michelin-trained, 11-time world record-breaking cook from Top Chef Canada in my kitchen, prepping my breakfast right now. He's gonna be here cooking for 5 hours, which at $500 per hour is gonna run me a whopping $2,500. I hope it's worth it.
Do you know what's the key to not crying when you're cutting onions?
Toughen up, man up.
Always. That's a very Jim Bro thing. Isn't
What
it?
is
Sharp
it?
knife is the key.
A sharper knife.
Yeah.
Interesting.
When you have a sharp knife, you don't cry.
For breakfast, Wallace made me oyakadon, which is pretty much the Japanese version of a bro meal. It's basically just chicken, eggs, and rice, but Japanese style.
Go straight down, grab like some eggs, some chicken, some onions, and then the rice.
Okay.
Grab some of this little like topping stuff up top.
That's super good. Wow, amazing.
So fresh.
It's a great way to start the day.
So good.
And this experience was really cool. Wallace just told me to send him the macros I wanted for each meal, and he said he'd surprise me with the dish. All the ingredients for the breakfast actually only cost $6.46, so if you cook it yourself, it's definitely affordable. It also has great macros with 46 grams of protein. I'll post the full recipe in the description.
And even though today is the high budget day, I still keep it pretty minimal with the supplements. So with my breakfast, I have a multivitamin with ashwagandha, fish oil capsules, 5 grams of creatine monohydrate, and I do them in pills just for convenience, and vitamin D. And this is the cost of those supplements, so I'll add that to the daily total.
For my pre-workout meal, Wallace made me an amazing seafood risotto with lobster, scallops, and shrimp with a high-protein rice, plus some truffled caviar.
And the best part about it, there's enough salt in here, so you're gonna get a good pump in the gym.
This was legitimately one of the best meals I've ever had. If you noticed, lobster tail was actually the most expensive protein source on my list, so all the food ingredients in this meal cost me $18.62. And as much as I wanted to, I couldn't blow the whole budget on Wallace's cooking, so I gave him a copy of the Muscle Ladder, he gave me a copy of his Guinness Book of World Records, and I told him I'd handle the last 2 meals myself. And I'll link his Instagram and YouTube in the description box. After the pre-workout meal, I've still got $7,400.93 left for the rest of the day. Now, for my pre-workout supplements, this time I figured I'd go to a local supplement shop and ask for their most expensive pre-workout.
I want you to tell me what your most expensive pre-workout is.
It's the Mammoth Pump.
Mammoth Pump. Okay.
Turns out it's Mammoth Pump High Intensity Pre-Workout, which was $65.99, which comes out to 87 cents per scoop. This time for my back workout, I hired a personal trainer. But again, this is the $10,000 budget day, so I didn't hire just any personal trainer. This is Joe Bennett, the OG hypertrophy coach. He's trained 6-time classic Mr. Olympia champ Chris Bumstead, 7-time 212 champ Flex Lewis, 2-time 212 champ Sean Clarita, Dana Lynn Bailey, and Hollywood celebrities like Dave Bautista. And he's gonna take me through my back workout for today.
What's your hourly rate?
700.
Is it?
Yeah.
We did a 5-exercise back set, lat-focused cable row, pull-ups, deadlifts, a chest-supported machine row, and an incline cable pullover. And Joe gave me some cues for each movement that I honestly hadn't tried before. On the lat-focused cable row, he told me to not only think about driving my elbows down, which I already do, but also to keep them more tucked in.
I found I'm able to feel my lats in a stretched position really well, but I haven't in the shortened position very well at all. That little cue of just tucking the elbows in more helped a lot. That's nice.
On the pull-ups, he helped me engage my lats better by slowing down toward the bottom in the stretch and keeping my elbows a little more tucked in. I had this tendency to really let them flare out.
Just focus on making sure you might have to actively feel like you're keeping your elbows in.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm cooked.
That was good.
Makes it a lot harder when you tuck the elbows in, I'll tell you that.
For the deadlifts, we basically did a Romanian deadlift, but made it more back-focused by allowing for a little more knee bend and then extending the range of motion until my back was parallel with the floor. It was kind of a hybrid between a standard conventional deadlift and a Romanian deadlift, and it absolutely lit my spinal erectors up. For the chest-supported row, he also used a cue I'd somehow honestly never tried before, and it was simply to just keep my chest up throughout the entire row. Historically, I've always thought that I'd get a better stretch by allowing my upper back to round forward over the pad, but as Joe said, that really only stretches the erectors more, and it takes some of the slack out of the mid-traps. So by keeping my chest up, I was able to connect with my mid-back much better, and even though it sounds counterintuitive, I was able to get a better stretch in that mid-back area specifically by not rounding forward. On the very last set, we did an intensity technique to extend the set, which I'll let Joe explain.
And you're gonna intentionally extend up. And then let it round back down, and you're gonna round over the top. So you can round the position I was having you avoid before, we're gonna round and do it. And then we're gonna extend.
Oh, nice.
And then we're gonna round over the top.
Extend, extend. Last one, Jeff, come on.
Stretch.
Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
Yep.
Oh, buddy.
If you haven't tried this before, I definitely recommend it. It'll smash your spinal erectors.
Wake up, rested. Wow, the day just clicks.
You mastered your mind. And all the while, you were on the train home. Audible. There's more to imagine when you listen.
For the last exercise, we set up the incline bench for cable-like pullovers. It was nice and stable, and Joe got me to really focus on letting my shoulder blades lift at the top and then pulling down and sweeping through. And I actually worked with Joe for 3 hours. It wasn't just training. He also helped me mobilize my shoulders and gave me some very helpful posing tips as well. So the entire session ran me $2,100, leaving me with still $5,300.06 for the rest of the evening.
Okay, for my post-workout meal, I'm just gonna order something on DoorDash. So I basically need something around 500 to 600 calories, 35 to 40 grams of protein. So what I usually get is chicken pita.
This post-workout chicken pita cost me $34.47, $15.23 for the meal itself, $4.24 for the delivery fee, and $15 for the tip. I think the main benefit of this slightly more expensive delivery meal is really just convenience. It's not like this pita is going to offer me any better gains than the significantly cheaper post-workout meal I had yesterday. And before the last meal of the day, I figured, since I still have a lot of money left, I'd pay a visit to the most luxurious spa in the city. They did up a custom recovery package just for me, which included deep tissue massage focusing on my back and legs, and then a facial with some facial massage techniques I've never seen before. And of course, while the spa does offer more affordable options, for the custom, top-notch, Jeff Nippard luxury package, it ran me another $1,000. After that, it was time for meal 4, and for that, I'm having this salmon meal from a local meal prep service. This is actually something I use quite often for convenience. It's not super expensive, but it is more costly than if you were to buy the individual items in bulk and prep it yourself. So this is salmon with rice, broccoli, mushrooms, and onions, and this meal cost me $10.44, which means I'm still about $4,000 under budget. I know this is a cop-out, but I really don't want to blow the money on a bunch of random recovery hacks that just don't have enough science to justify their price tag. So instead, I'm gonna run back to the gym and give the remaining money to a random subscriber.
You want to answer one question for the chance to win a mystery prize?
Of course I will. Yeah.
All right, let's go. Are you subscribed to Jeff Nippard on YouTube?
Of course I am.
You are? See?
I'm subscribed.
He is subscribed. Confirm it.
I'm subscribed.
Ready for your prize?
Ready for my prize.
$4,000 US.
Holy sh! You kidding me?
That's what you get, bro.
I'm not gonna drink it. Of course, man. Holy sh!
So, can you get just as jacked spending $10 a day versus $10,000 a day? Well, let's see. Having a professional chef cook my meals was awesome. I think the biggest benefit there was that my macro-friendly meals just tasted so much better, which would make the dieting process feel easier. With that said, I actually still think you'd probably make the same gains doing the budget meals as the luxury meals, assuming the macros were the same. As for the personal trainer, Joe did exceed my expectations in terms of helping me lock in better and connect with the target muscles. It's hard to quantify how much of a difference training with him over the long term would make on my gains, but this recent study did show that people who had a personal trainer saw significantly more muscle growth than people who didn't. I do feel like having someone there to work with you specifically and to motivate you probably would lead to better gains. That said, I suspect that as long as you can push yourself hard on your own, that difference probably would start to level off over time. There's so much good information online now, you can easily learn the basics for free. So I would say having a personal trainer is definitely a luxury, but not a necessity. The other recovery techniques definitely help me relax, and I do think they can help with recovery. I still view them as supplementary, not mandatory. Keep in mind, research shows that you can get recovery benefits at no cost by going for a walk outside, and that's free. Sleeping is also free, probably the single best thing you can do for recovery. Training hard, training smart, and eating the right number of calories and protein for your goals are the most important things for getting fit. So I definitely think fitness is something anyone can work toward. Your approach doesn't need to be perfect to be effective. If you want to get going on whatever fitness goal you have for yourself in 2025, whether that's losing fat, building muscle, gaining strength, or some combination, I recommend downloading Macro Factor. We have over 250,000 active users. So this isn't just another influencer app. We have a huge team dedicated to making the app as good as possible, and we're constantly rolling out more features. So if you'd like to try it out for yourself, I'll put a link to a 2-week free trial in the description box down below. All you have to do is use code Jeff when you download the app, and that'll get you 2 weeks for free. All right, that's it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all here in the next one.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Now Taxes is having a TurboTax expert who does your taxes from start to finish. While you check in anytime and get the most money back on your time. Now this is Taxes.
I'm Madeline Matlock, Junior Legal Counsel.
America's favorite new show is Matlock.
I lost a daughter, so I'm gonna find out who's responsible and get justice.
Matlock, now streaming on Paramount Plus and Thursdays on CBS.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Sam Sulek is, by far, the biggest fitness influencer in the world at the moment. So I decided to analyze every single workout he's done this year. So far, he's done 460 sets. 15% of those sets were for his chest, 20% for his back, and 16% for his biceps. Interestingly, only 11% of Sam's total training was for his quads, yet 25% went to his triceps. 1/4 of Sam's total training is triceps training. Yet, anatomy research tells us that the triceps are less than 4% of total body muscle, while the quads are, by far, the biggest muscle in the body at almost 30% of total body muscle. Also, Sam trains to failure 96% of the time, but almost all of his sets not taken to failure were for his forearms. So if we ignore the forearm work, fully 98% of Sam's training was done all the way to muscular failure. I also examined the range of motion he used on every set, the most common rep range he used, and using all this information, in this video, I'm going to provide the most analytical, science-based critique of Sam Sulek's training on the internet. I'm going to do that by highlighting 3 good things that you should definitely apply to your own training, and 3 bad things that I think are either a waste of time or will give you suboptimal results. Now, I'm going to start with the bad stuff, but keep in mind that I will be going over the good stuff as well, and there's one thing in particular I think Sam does better than any fitness influencer that I'm aware of, and I'll get to that later in the video. First, after watching days worth of Sam Sulek videos, the first thing I noticed is that his technique could be better. Sam is obviously a big proponent of what he calls ego lifting, which is when you simply try to move the weight, allowing yourself to swing and sway rather than being really strict with your form. And Sam definitely does more than his fair share of cheat reps. Now, I would say that I'm actually less of a technique junkie than most science-based coaches. I think that you can still get solid gains with so-called bad form as long as you're pushing yourself hard, but I still doubt those gains will be optimal. In fact, I recently published a study on optimal training technique for muscle growth, and we discovered that there are 2 main things to focus on when it comes to lifting technique. The main thing is that you need to use a range of motion that gets the muscle into a deep stretch. On this point, I'm giving Sam a B-. Sam doesn't always use a full range of motion, for sure, but that's okay as long as you're getting the muscle into a deep stretch. And while Sam often does get the muscle fully stretched, there are too many times when he doesn't to get an A grade. For example, on the incline press here, he's stopping at least 3 or 4 inches away from his chest, which isn't the end of the world, but it isn't ideal. I'd rather see him strip the weight back and touch the bar to his chest so he can really feel that deep stretch in his pecs. And here on preacher curls, you can see that he's cutting out the bottom quarter of the range of motion where his biceps would be the most stretched. And we now have 2 studies showing that on this exact exercise, the bottom half of the curl is the most anabolic part of the range of motion. So if you're cutting out the bottom part, I would say that you're missing out on some potential gains. In fact, whenever I do preacher curls these days, I just stay in the bottom half the entire time. The other thing we found in our study is that it's important to control the negative rather than just letting the weight free fall. So when it comes to controlling the negative, Sam gets a B+. He usually does control the negative pretty well, even when he uses some momentum to get the weight moving, but there are also just too many examples of him letting the weight free fall to get him an A grade. Ideally, as he gets closer to failure, he'd make a conscious effort to resist the weight on the negative, always being in control, especially on that final rep where muscle activation is the highest. Overall, I'll give Sam a B grade on training technique. The next thing I quickly noticed is that Sam will more or less just completely wing his workouts. He doesn't have a structured training plan. He hops in the car, roughly maps out a workout in his head on the way to the gym, and then he'll even often improvise the workout in the moment based on how he's feeling. The problem with basing your workouts around whatever you're feeling that day is that it's really hard to guarantee that you're actually progressing. If you're just picking different exercises at random, you'll quickly hit a plateau and start spinning your wheels in the gym. In fact, I would say that this is the #1 thing that causes people to fall into that dreaded lifetime intermediate category after getting past the newbie phase. In order to keep making progress after your first year of lifting, it's crucial that you use progressive overload. All progressive overload means is that you add something to your workouts over time. That's usually done by adding some weight or a rep to each exercise. But if you're just randomly switching exercises in and out, what'll happen is when it's time to hit that same exercise again, you end up just doing the same weight and the same reps that you did last time. This is truly a progress killer. Now, elephant in the room, Sam is clearly still making gains just fine, and an intuitive approach to training can clearly work for some people, especially if you have great genetics or supplemental enhancement. In fact, the supplement aspect of this is pretty big. With the right anabolic enhancement, you can make gains even while training suboptimally. In fact, research shows that you can build muscle without even training at all, as long as you're taking the right substances. Enhancing is kind of like getting a second newbie phase, where really anything you do will work. But even with enhancement, once you eventually reach that plateau again, you have two options. Get smarter and more structured with your training, or increase the dose of anabolics. Obviously, the safest solution is to get a plan, put it on paper, or put it in your phone, and track the weight and the number of reps you do. I personally do this for every exercise. Even just doing it for your heavy compound lifts would make a huge difference. So, for example, you can track your squats, presses, and heavy pulls, and then kind of wing it for the lighter isolation stuff like curls, lateral raises, and chest flies. Now, to Sam's credit, you do want to give yourself the freedom to switch exercises in and out if you're feeling pain, or if you're just really in the mood for something different. For example, Sam immediately switched his chest workout to a back workout after feeling his chest tighten up in this workout on January 8th. I think that's a smart move. But for the most part, you do want to keep most of your exercises and most of your workouts the same for at least a month or two, so you can make sure that you're adding some weight or some reps to those exercises. Also, to be fair, Sam could totally be tracking his workouts on camera, but I didn't hear any mention of that from any of the videos that I watched, and I definitely got the impression that most of the time, he's just completely winging it. Overall, I'm giving Sam a C+ on program structure. Third, Sam uses a body part split, or what many would call a bro split. This is where you train only one muscle per workout. So he'll do chest one day, and back the next day, an arm day, and then a leg day. There's two main issues with this. First, as you can tell, it ends up being very disproportionate in terms of how much volume each muscle gets. So far this year, Sam has done 113 sets for his triceps and only 9 sets for his calves, and just 6 sets for his glutes. And his tricep volume is more than double his quad volume, despite the quads being 8 times bigger. Now, Sam has said that he's trying to focus on his triceps right now, but this is fairly normal for a bro split, because you have at least 3 upper body days for every 1 leg day. Yet, from an anatomical standpoint, your legs have way more total musculature than your upper body, and it's not even close. So unless you already have great leg genetics, your legs may start to lag behind on this split. There's also an issue with junk volume. In this workout from January 21st, Sam did 13 sets for his chest, plus 2 drop sets. But the best studies tell us that you tend to max out the amount of growth that you can get for a single muscle somewhere around 6 to 8 sets per workout. So after you've done 6 to 8 sets for a single muscle in one workout, any more sets that you do after that probably aren't doing much. This is why some people call it junk volume. So rather than wasting all that energy doing 13 sets in one workout for one muscle, I'd suggest splitting that volume in half and putting 6 sets on one day and 7 sets on another day. Now, it's possible that because Sam is just so big, he can use more volume in a single workout than you or me. And I guess it's worth mentioning that probably 90+% of IFBB pros do follow the same split as Sam. So it could be that if you get to that unnaturally high level of muscular development, the rules change, or that with enough enhancement, the rules don't really matter anymore. That said, when I spoke with Dr. Mike Israetel about this, someone who I'd consider an expert on both the natural and enhanced side of bodybuilding, he said that enhanced guys would also be better off following a more science-based training split. That could be a push-pull leg split, or an upper-lower split, or even a full body split. I think that those are all better options for the vast majority of people, again, because they allow for a more even distribution of your volume across your body, and they're less likely to lead to so-called junk volume. Overall, I'm going to give Sam a C+ on his training split. Okay, let's dig into the good stuff.
We were there in Paris. Exclusive events at incredible restaurants. Nights at the Sapphire Lounge on the set. Heaven.
Experience the world as an insider. From exclusive lounges to immersive dining experiences, all at Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Pro Plan Sport. Strength and stamina out here. Start in here.
First, to his credit, Sam trains very hard. This is extremely important if your goal is to maximize muscle growth beyond the beginner stage. And I do think that simply training hard is more important than any of the previous stuff I talked about. You can optimize everything else on paper. If you don't push your sets hard, it doesn't really matter. That said, too much of a good thing can be bad. And in this case, I think it might be. Sam goes to failure a little too much for my taste. Like I said, Sam has done 460 sets so far this year, and 440 of them were all-out sets to failure. I do think most people would run into recovery issues with that much failure training. For me, only about 30% of my training is taken to failure. I usually do 3 sets per exercise, and I'll take the last set all the way to failure. In my first 2 sets, I leave 1 or 2 reps in the tank. Keep in mind, 1 or 2 reps in the tank is still very hard training. I see people leaving 10+ reps in the tank all the time at my gym, even serious dedicated bodybuilders. But yeah, I think a combination of failure and non-failure training is smarter than just going to failure all the time. That way, you still regularly get to remind yourself what failure feels like, so you're not doing it so much that it hurts your recovery. Even though he does take it a bit too far in my opinion, I'm still counting Sam's high effort as a good thing because he seems to genuinely enjoy failure training. He does seem to be recovering from it for the most part, and even though he has had a few injuries, it's hard to say if that's due to failure training per se, or the super high loads that he's using, or something else. So even though I'd personally tone back on it, failure training is still far better than sandbagging your workouts and not putting any real effort in. So given his preference for failure training and what seems to be adequate recovery, I'm gonna go ahead and give Sam an A grade on effort. The second good thing is that Sam uses smart rep ranges. When I analyzed the number of reps he did on every set, this was how it broke down. 11% of his sets were in the 0 to 3 rep range, 40% in the 4 to 7 rep range, another 40% in the 8 to 12 rep range, and 9% was above 13 reps. So clearly the majority of his training is coming from a moderate rep zone from 4 to 12 reps, and for hypertrophy, I think this is great. All rep ranges can, in theory, lead to similar muscle growth. However, doing too much high reps can be very exhausting. Doing too much low reps may give you unnecessary joint strain. I think I do a little more high rep work than Sam does, just because there are studies showing that using a variety of rep ranges is better than only doing 1 rep range. But overall, this is pretty bang on for someone whose main goal is muscle growth. I'm gonna give Sam an A grade on his rep ranges. Lastly, and most importantly, Sam clearly loves training, probably more than any fitness influencer that I'm aware of. He's super consistent, he does exercises that he enjoys, and he has a good time in the gym. Obviously, hard workouts require discipline, and there'll always be days when you don't feel like going to the gym. But finding ways to make your workouts more enjoyable is always a good thing. And Sam clearly has that mastery. He gets an A++ for sustainability and enjoyment. And even though I was kind of tough on Sam in this video because I wanted to give him a rigorous science-based critique, all things considered, I think Sam deserves a B grade for his training overall. Even though there are areas that could be more optimized, I personally rank sustainability, enjoyment, and effort so highly that his high score there does boost his overall grade from me. And even though I didn't get a chance to talk about Sam's diet in this video, comment below if you'd like me to do that in a future video. And in the meantime, you can download my nutrition app, Macro Factor, for 2 weeks for free at the first link in the description box below, which is basically like having me as your own personal nutrition coach for a tiny fraction of the cost. I used Macro Factor myself for all of 2023 to cut 30 pounds of fat, and now I'm using the app to guide my bulk for 2024. You can see from my habits dashboard, I haven't missed a single day so far this year. I think the main thing that separates Macro Factor from other nutrition apps is that it uses science-based algorithms to calculate your metabolism individually and then updates your calories and macros to mathematically guarantee that you reach your goal as long as you follow the plan. There's also a super active Facebook community and subreddit where you can ask questions, post updates, share recipes, and more, so make sure you get in there if you sign up. So you can scan the QR code over here next to my head if you want to try it out for yourself for 2 weeks for free, or you can check out the first link in the description box down below. Thanks again, guys, so much for watching. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all here in the next one.
I can't guess that yet.
Have you always had trouble with your weight? Same.
Discover the power of Wegovy.
With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds. And some lost over 46 pounds.
And I'm keeping the weight off.
I'm reducing my risk. Wegovy is the only weight management medicine proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events such as death, heart attack, or stroke in adults with known heart disease and obesity.
Don't use Wegovy with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines or in children under 12. Don't take if you or your family had MTC, MEN2, or if allergic to it. Tell your provider if you plan to have surgery or a procedure, are breastfeeding, pregnant, or plan to be. Stop taking and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck.
In this video, I'm ranking 19 controversial fitness topics as either overrated or underrated. And for some extra scientific credibility, this time I'm pulling in exercise scientist Dr. Mike Israetel, who not only has a PhD in sport physiology, but is a competitive bodybuilder himself. I'm giving us 15 seconds each to explain why we think each item is overrated or underrated, and we'll be covering 3 categories: training, nutrition, and hot fitness topics. Here we go.
The first category is training, cheat reps, also known as ego lifting.
Go first.
It is a journey without an end or a purpose. When you think it through, cheat reps are stupid on almost all counts. You end up having a higher probability of injury, a lower probability of stimulating the target muscle, and a very difficult time tracking.
I agree that they're overrated. I think for the most part, people should use good technique. I would argue that on certain exercises, for example, bicep curls, if doing a little bit of cheating and slight momentum allows you to get another rep and then you control the eccentric, that might be an extra controlled eccentric that you wouldn't have gotten if you hadn't used that little bit of momentum. So I think that they can have some value, but I would still say overall, mostly overrated.
Muscle soreness.
I think it can be a good proxy that you did actually hit the target muscle. It can be an indication that the muscle you were trying to hit was in fact stimulated. But I think a lot of people are under the impression that if you didn't get sore, that means you didn't have a good workout or you didn't grow muscle, which is definitely not true. And in that sense, I would say it's overrated.
I think it's become fashionable lately in the evidence-based community to say that soreness is overrated, or more specifically that soreness doesn't really mean anything and that soreness is only a side effect of novelty. I think that fails on about 7 or 8 logical grounds. When you do more volume, more intensity, proper progression, when you come closer to failure, when you generate a lot of metabolites, when you focus on the eccentric, when you train along muscle lengths, all of those things tend to cause more soreness. And to me, that sounds like a very, very close link causatively to hypertrophy. It's okay if you're not getting sore, but if you're not progressing and you feel like you're understimulating, trying to get sore is probably a good idea. And if you're getting sore, you have 99 problems, but stimulus is not one.
Okay.
Training each muscle only once a week, also known as a bro split.
There are better ways to train than training one muscle group once a week, especially if you're talking about small muscle groups. Like if you train your rear delts once a week or your biceps once a week, there's absolutely no way they take that long to recover. You just missed opportunity. And legs or something, or if you have a huge back is fine once a week, but it's also not optimal. I think you should train muscles when they recover. That generally occurs anywhere between every day or 2 times a week.
Yeah, I agree. A little bit of devil's advocate. The latest frequency research does show that a bro split is a viable approach, but I would say it's probably not the optimal approach.
Don't spend 2 hours per workout 5 days in the gym to do a perfectly fine approach. No one in here in the gym right now wants perfectly fine. They want jacked. It's the same number of days a week. You show up and not do a bro split, you get better results.
What about training to failure?
So I think overrated. I think that the research shows that there's not a huge difference in terms of hypertrophy or strength if you go all the way to failure or if you stop a couple reps shy. I think people think going to failure is super, super important. And I think you have to know what failure feels like, but I do think overall it's overrated and not as important as a lot of bodybuilders think.
Agreed, and I would add that most of the people that are saying that failure is super important are coming from an egotistical perspective in which they need to emotionally drain themselves in the gym, and it's more cathartic and psychological and less to do with what gets optimal results.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm here editing this video now, and I kind of want to update my answer just a little bit. I still kind of think that training to failure is slightly overrated. However, there's a brand new meta-analysis that did find that on average, training to failure was better for muscle growth than not training to failure. That doesn't mean that every set you do needs to be taken to failure, but I would say it's important. If you don't take any sets to failure, I would say you are leaving gains on the table. If I had to update my answer, training to failure is properly rated to slightly overrated. But I'm gonna give Mike a quick call and see if he wants to give an update. Hey, Mike. In our last video, you said you thought training to failure was overrated. I'm just wondering if you'd want to update that.
Yes, training to failure is even more overrated. Probably more overrated than ever because of that recent meta-regression that came out that said that training to failure was superior for hypertrophy, but it turns out that's only the case if you train with very low volumes, you're not trying very hard, you're smaller, you're weaker, and you don't train very often. If you train a lot and you're really serious and you're really trying, in that very study, they say training to failure has no advantage. And because most people didn't read the study, almost no one read the study, I guess, then it's more overrated than ever.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, the mind-to-muscle connection.
You go first.
I think that people who prefer to talk about mind-muscle connection sometimes are right in a nuanced way, but often are doing a mind-muscle connection at the expense of good technique and a lot of load and the right movements and especially progression. So as long as your technique is good, you have progression, then mind-muscle connection becomes important, but it's very much a quaternary or tertiary variable.
I completely agree. I think it's one of those things that matters and is generally good, but I think people overstate how much it actually matters. You can get a good mind-muscle connection and not necessarily have a sufficiently stimulative set if you didn't push that set.
How do you feel about pumps?
Okay, I'm gonna say properly rated. I think pumps are fun and they make training more enjoyable. They probably have some connection to hypertrophy, and I think people think that pumps are good and fun, and they are, so yeah, properly rated.
Sure. I just mean underrated, and I think pumps are great. And in the evidence-based space, I think pumps are underrated. Whether or not you got a really good pump is a good gauge of if the target muscle was hit, if it's the right place that they're getting pumped, and also a good gauge of volume.
The next category is nutrition. Let's start with dirty bulking.
I think dirty bulking can be fun. It can lead to strength gain, but overall, it leads to vastly disproportionately more fat gain than it does muscle gain. And for that reason, I think it's overrated.
I mean, I have the stretch marks and a loose skin to prove it. So I used to do it. I thought it was great. It was a lot of fun. It caused a lot of irreversible side effects. And I wish I would have stayed leaner, and it sure as shit would have gotten me laid more often in college.
Natural testosterone boosters.
Go first.
Yeah, this is super simple. There's no such thing.
If you want to boost your testosterone, take
testosterone. Comes in a needle.
I mean, even if there was an over-the-counter herb that could boost testosterone, there's no evidence that it would do anything significant or noticeable for muscle mass, right? Which is why most people, I think, take it.
Also, the thing is that if a herb boosts testosterone, you have to ask by what mechanism is it doing that. If your own body detects that a serum testosterone increase has occurred, it usually downregulates its own production. So if you have a combination herb that also keeps your testosterone naturally producing higher, that is a pharmacological multi-compound drug. That is not something that grows on a tree.
Right.
Sorry.
1 gram of protein per pound of body weight.
Ooh, I'm gonna do the Jeff Nippard. It's just a little bit more than enough protein than you need for almost all cases. And because it's just a little bit more than enough, if you eat a relatively balanced diet, it obviates the need to pay high attention to protein quality. And it's a really easy number to remember. And if you live in the great nation of the United States of America, then you do pounds, goddamn. Woo!
But grams for food still. Okay, I'll say properly rated as well. I like 1 gram per pound with the caveat that it is actually more than you need in almost all instances. When cutting, I would say 1 gram per pound is a good rule. When bulking, you probably only need like 0.7 or 0.8 grams per pound.
What about body recomposition, also known as recomping?
I think recomping is underrated because most people in the general population can very reasonably expect to build muscle while losing fat at the same time, even though a lot of people in fitness culture tend to say, oh, you need to cut in bulk. I don't think that's actually true for most people.
I think those are great and valid points. I'm coming at a slightly different perspective.
Taxes was paying the price. Every single year.
Just because you can do something and it is effective doesn't mean there's not a better way to do it. Almost all goals that you could achieve with recomping, you could do better with dedicated cutting and bulking. If you want to be jacked or lean, then recomping will only take you so far. And after it runs its course, which is probably in about a year of dedicated recomping, you'll get almost all of it that you will. After that, you're going to have to pull some bigger triggers.
What about diet soda?
Diet soda is, by almost all research accounts, essentially completely inert with regards to your health, and it tastes delicious, and it's amazing, and it's awesome, and it's underrated by people who think it's really bad for you, or who think it's as bad as regular soda, or who think it's worse, and they're just pure make-believe wrong.
So even just switching from regular soda to diet soda can result in weight loss in a lot of people. It can be so good for satiety and reducing cravings on a diet. It's a very underutilized tool.
Diet breaks.
I'm gonna say underrated. There really shouldn't be any like major rush to get lean. I think in general people try to rush fat loss too much, and they'd be better off just like chilling out a little bit, taking the foot off the gas every once in a while, allowing your training to improve, allowing your muscles to fill back up. People could take a week or two off and just put their calories up to maintenance or even slightly above, and it would actually benefit them in the long run.
I think people like to lose all the weight they need to lose all at the same time. And generally when it's more than 10% of your body weight, and even that's a high figure, you're gonna have to take a long multi-month diet break for all of the diet fatigue to settle before you go on. So I think lose, 5 to 8% of your body weight, take 2 or 3 months of maintenance, and then try again.
What about clean eating?
Controversy.
I think it's overrated because, for one, it's really, really hard to define. Everybody has a different definition of what eating clean means. If you take it to the extreme, you can get some really disordered eating behaviors. Ultimately, it can become so clean that there's nothing left on the menu. I think it's better to focus on an inclusive approach to diet. So you want to include a variety of different foods. For health, you want to include a bunch of different fruits and vegetables. And I don't really think any foods should be like strictly off the menu.
I think everything you said is valid, but I would say that clean eating is relatively easy to define. It is the absence of intentionally high palatability processed junk food. And I think that taking those foods mostly out of your diet, especially as the fat loss phase gets hard, can be really hugely advantageous. But in most other circumstances, mass gaining, maintenance, and even the beginning of a diet, some fun foods are awesome and a great part of life.
Okay, I would agree with that. On a fat loss phase, you should try to reduce the super palatable, highly processed foods. That makes sense.
The third category is hot fitness topics.
Oh, geez, I thought these were all hot topics.
How do you feel about natty or not videos?
All right, I'll take this one. From the creator's standpoint, I think they're overrated because I believe in innocent until proven guilty, and if you're just speculating on someone's natural status on scant evidence, then you could be hurting their reputation. From the viewer's standpoint, I don't think they actually give you any value, apart from just the fun of the drama, I guess, because the idea is that, oh, if they're not natty, then it's not realistic for me to look like them. But you can't really look like anyone else anyway because of genetic differences, right?
Yes.
So I think that from both the creator standpoint and the viewer's standpoint, super overrated.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is I think true natty or not journalistic approach, where someone who has made a real commitment to being drug-free and is lying about it, I think that's awesome. Exposing those frauds is a great thing. But natty or not videos are like when you've done zero research, you're just yelling at the camera and pretending you know things that you don't about anyone. And by the way, for context, I'm not natty. Just in case anyone wanted to say anything.
Fair enough.
What do you think about the idea that natty training is completely different from enhanced training?
Who wrote these? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just like a fiction designed by two people, one natties that need an excuse for why they're not getting jacked, and two drug-addicted idiots that think that they don't have to read science papers.
I would say enhanced people can probably recover better. Is that not true either?
It's a very nuanced topic.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true, but if you're enhanced, that means you're more jacked, and as soon as you become more jacked, that enhanced recovery difference goes away because you're more jacked, you're stronger, you're bigger, and it's way harder to recover, so it just ends up leveling the playing field, and you get so big that you have trouble recovering even though you're enhanced.
But for all intents and purposes, like training principles are training principles.
Yes.
Okay.
Cold showers.
Research-vetted way to reduce hypertrophy. If you think that they offer you an effect of that sort of shock therapy waking you up and it being a sympathetic driver for part of your day, because sympathetic-parasympathetic balance is really good, then you don't train hard enough. Go train.
Yeah, I think overrated. I feel like it's just a lot of hype with very, very little evidence.
Except for reduced hypertrophy.
Yeah, reduced hypertrophy. It does. Yeah. It does seem to definitely do that.
Okay, what about no FAP, also known as semen retention?
Oh, bro. I don't know where this started, but in the wild, humans fap, and they also fap with each other, and the overemphasis on the toxicity of both masturbation and is without research support, and there's absolutely unhealthy ways and weird relationships you can get into that. The vast minority of people get into that. If that's you, I feel you. That sucks. You should be getting looked at and treatment and backing off. But for most people, good God, it's just normal and it's just not a big deal.
And there's no evidence that that I'm aware of that it like boosts testosterone to a substantial degree over the long term, or that it improves training performance.
All right, locking out the knees is dangerous.
Go ahead.
There's neither evidence nor rationale for that, and your knees are designed to lock out, and if you control the lockout gently and you don't snap into it like a psycho and turn your muscles off at the end, and you're not one of the people with some sort of laxity disorder, you're gonna be just fine. And you need strong knees.
Again, I think it goes back to people approaching training with a very fragile mindset. They think if they just move in slightly the wrong way, then everything's gonna break and it's gonna be the end of them. It's not true.
Filming in gyms.
I think underrated.
I think it's overhated. I feel like people hate on people filming at the gym, like, oh, why are you filming at the gym, this and that. I film at the gym and it helps educate people on training. As long as you're not disrespecting other people who maybe don't want to be on camera or violating the gym rules, I'm all for it.
I think as the world becomes more technologically advanced and as more of us start to wear eventually VR glasses, AR glasses, eventually AR contact lenses, being out in public will be implicit consent for being on anyone's video. And also, yeah, of course I'm going to film my training, and anyone should be able to film their training too. And if you walk through someone's camera, you will be on camera because you're out in public anyway. Are you kidding me? And Facebook and Instagram and stuff is just another version of public. You were out in the gym, weren't you? If someone's filming in your own private gym and you don't want to be on there, I understand. And also, oh, there's tripods everywhere. So what? Walk around. There's also machines everywhere. Get out of here.
If you didn't see the last video, I did a shoulder workout with Dr. Mike. I'll put a link to that over here somewhere. Make sure you check out his channel. He does all kinds of really good myth-busting style videos, so if you're into that kind of thing, you'll love Renaissance periodization. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all here in the next one.
Most Planet Fitness clubs are open 24 hours, so you can work out whenever.
We're coming in early. Staying late.
Whatever works for you.
Save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th.
Couldn't figure it out. I was trying everything, but then looked like she had a stomach ache again the next.
But again, damage done in the ring. The last two men are Cena and Triple H. One of these men will headline WrestleMania as the WWE Champion.
And Triple H's head must be ringing. The pulse must be pounding after being dumped unceremoniously on the steel floor.
John Cena's back must be burning after the assault from Sheamus. Cena trying to somehow get to his feet. The game as well.
Who has more? Who's going to reach down deeper for the WWE Championship and the opportunity at WrestleMania?
And look at John Cena. Going to the STF. Going to the STF. Locked in. Triple H in trouble. He's got to get on his back. Triple H has got to roll to his back.
Brutal submission hold that puts the pressure on the head, neck, and knee.
Triple H has got to get to his back. He's got to get to his back here, folks.
And Cena looks as if he's riding a wild bull here, trying to last until the game will tap out.
Will Triple H tap out? Will Cena go to WrestleMania? Can the game hold on?
Every time Triple H's chest touches the mat, that's where this maneuver is most painful. Clawing, clutching, grabbing.
I don't think he's going to be able to make it.
John Cena with the STF locked in. Triple H in an unbelievable amount of pain.
Triple H is fading. Look at his hands. Look at his hands. Is that...
We've got about 50 million followers. We're in the billions of views. And we're a small team. We always felt like...
John Cena is going to WrestleMania!
New WWE Champion, John Cena!
Ladies and gentlemen, John Cena is an 8-time world champion.
But can you believe what we just witnessed? I mean, first, the huge shock of Sheamus being dethroned. And then we saw the game, a battered and beaten game, but he was not able to get to the ropes and finally had to tap out.
And look at what the Elimination Chamber has done to the new WWE Champion, John Cena. He cannot even register emotion, ladies and gentlemen, over the fact that he's headlining WrestleMania. That is the brutality, the punishment that he has endured in this matchup.
Well, John Cena's going to realize it as soon as that championship is placed in his hands once again.
Numbers jumping straight up out the gym. Part of my man as I eat up the block. Ain't no heavy when I see the mountain, but I ain't for the top. When I've been here, been there. I've been living from the jump.
WWE Elimination Chamber from Toronto, Canada. Tickets on sale now.
Knoxville, Tennessee, Bianca Belair.
Corey Bianca Belair beat Meechin to qualify for this matchup tonight. You know, she won this event back in 2022. That experience has to help.
Well, history has certainly taught us that when it comes to the EST, you simply cannot bet against Bianca Belair. Belair has her sights set on continuing an undefeated WrestleMania streak this year.